Good morning, everyone. It's good to be back here. I've been coming to this show since about 2006. Some of you may remember my presentation from last time and numerous times on Taku Gold Corp. I am president of Taku Gold Corp and founder of the Tangent Group of Companies. Tangent Management and the Tangent Group of Companies, what we do is we leverage the combined expertise of our executive committees, directors, geologists, support staff, administration, accountants, basically everything that's necessary to run a publicly traded junior exploration company. In order to build and manage stronger and resource exploration companies. So currently the Tangent Group of Companies comprises Taku Gold Corp, Tajiri Resources, Arrowhead Gold Corp, and a new capital pool corporation we just started, which is called Zuri Capital Corp. I'll just quickly, briefly go over Tajiri and Arrowhead, and then if you want more detailed information in those two companies, please visit our booth. Also visit our booth. We're giving away a gold nugget at the end of the day, and you can sign up at our booth there as well. Tajiri Resources is a silver company. We're working on a very high-grade, past-producing silver deposit in the Yukon. 24 million shares outstanding, basically went public recently. Our companies have been beaten up in the market, much like all of the other publicly traded companies, so we're certainly selling at a bargain here. Tajiri is currently trading at around the 8 to 10 cent range. Right now it's fully financed for its exploration programs. Back in the 80s, they high-graded this property. There was no real modern exploration techniques done on this property. And the ore was such high grade that they actually flew it straight to the smelter in fixed-wing airplanes. So what we'd like to do is start to drill that this year and explore on it to see if that mineralization extends to depth. Arrowhead Gold is a gold exploration company in Guyana. A very high-grade gold in the rock samples that we've picked up to date. Currently, it's 52 million shares outstanding, and it's another good company, and we can talk more about that at the booth. The real reason I'm here is to go over the progress that we've made in Taku Gold, of which I'm president. Taku Gold is leading the way in the new Yukon Gold Rush. Forward-looking statements, review on when we have time. Currently, Taku has 71 million shares outstanding. We're currently trading at around 6 to 7 cents. That gives us a market cap of around 4 million. And currently, actually, we've got about 3.5 million cash in the till. So we are well financed for our exploration budget this year, and it'll also give us some cash to move forward into next year. We're a healthy trader. We actually trade 265,000 shares per day, and that's over the last 3 months. This group includes myself, Mark Feketa, who has many years in the business as a geologist. Ick Boga, I've worked with for 18 years. Quite unbelievably. He's one of the best junior mining accountants out there, and he's our CFO. Steve Smith, Ken McLeod, again, partners of mine for 16, 17 years. Why we're in the Yukon, it goes back over 100 years, and back in 1896, George Carmack and Skookum Jim Mason left the shores of Tagish Lake in British Columbia to travel up the Yukon River, where they eventually discovered high-grade gold on Bonanza Creek. And this really led to the Klondike Gold Rush of 1898. Since then, over 20 million ounces of gold has been produced in the creeks and rivers of the Yukon, mainly in the form of placer gold. However, until recently, the source of the hard rock source of that placer gold had never been discovered. And that was until just recently, a couple of years ago, Underworld Resources made a fantastic discovery in just south of Dawson City, which led to a Kinross takeover. And then, of course, there's a gentleman named Sean Ryan who really led the charge as a prospector up there. He made a second discovery with Kaminak Resources. I'm sure many of you have heard of Kaminak, and just spectacular big discovery. Before Underworld got taken over by Kinross, because we have a lot of history in the Yukon from our management, we knew there was certainly something going on in the Yukon that was pretty exciting. We got in there early. And in the White Gold District, where all these discoveries are being made, we are now one of the largest landholders in that White Gold District. We've got 9 properties. Totaling around 66,000 hectares. It's about 150,000 acres. We also have a property near just south of the Yukon border in British Columbia. It is a property we've drilled a lot of holes on, and we've actually done a resource calculation on that project. It's our most advanced property, and we're excited to get back to work on that this year as well. What makes this White Gold District unique in the area is it was never affected by glaciation. So the method of discovery that we use is very simple. It's soil sampling. And if you find gold on the surface in the soils, it's a direct representation of the weathered bedrock below. So basically, if there's gold on surface, you drill right below that, and you're likely to find gold in the bedrock below. How rich it is, who knows, but so it seems actually very simple, and the process is quite simple. You can see down here, this is Kaminak's Coffee Project. This would be the original Golden Saddle discovery that Kinross bought. Kinross is now focusing their attention up here on the J.P. Ross property. And all of these projects in red would be Taku's group of projects. Dawson City would be located here. And if you read Pierre Burton's book, Klondike, you'll see all of the creeks like quartz and sulfur mentioned in that book as some of the richest placer-producing creeks in the Klondike. Just I'll point it out right now, the focus of our exploration this year would be on Rose Butte and on sulfur here. The Rose Butte property is shaping up to be our best shot at a big gold discovery and gold deposit here. It's a big property, 11,000 hectares. It takes many minutes in a helicopter to go from end to end. It's literally you stand on top of a hill, and as far as the eye can see, that's how big our property is. So far over the last 2 years, we've taken over 10,000 soil samples. They've resulted in a big gold in soil anomaly measuring about 189 hectares. Currently, our first drill target is 1.8 kilometers long, and we're getting up to 3.4 grams per ton in the soils. To put that into perspective, the original Golden Saddle deposit was discovered on 60 parts per billion and 100 parts per billion soil samples. 3.4 grams is 3,400 parts per billion. So we're certainly getting some rich soils. I'm not a geologist, and so I'm not going to expect anyone to understand a lot of these slides, but I'll just quickly go to show. These would be all the black dots here would be all the soil samples that we took in a large grid. Each one of these boxes is 1 kilometer long. All of these, the pinks are the highest grade gold in the soils. All of these are gold zones. So we found the high grade gold in the soil on the surface. When we drill it, we expect to find it in the bedrock below. If you add the silver, arsenic, and antimony signatures that we did, we're starting to get a real grouping of all of the minerals that lead to these gold discoveries up here. You layer on top of that a radiometric study we did, And we're right on the margins of a radiometric high, and then the blue being a radiometric low. This points to a possible intrusive body. Lastly, we add a airborne magnetic survey that we did. And this magnetic signature here, all the way along there, points to what is likely a fault structure also running through this same target. So you put all these things together, and it's as good a shot at a discovery as you can make. Additionally, on top of that, so we will drill this target starting early June of this year. We'll get up there to set up the camp mid-May and then and get right into drilling this year. On top of that, in 2010, we picked up 6 additional properties. These properties we didn't just stake for the sake of staking. We actually teamed up with another prospector in the Yukon, and basically we took over his best ideas in the area. And out of this, they're all. What's quite unique about us in the area is most of our properties are road accessible, so that cuts down on your exploration costs. Our camp is only a 1-hour drive from downtown Dawson, so you can get in and out of camp quite easily as well. This year on these properties, we're going to drill the sulfur property, and while we're drilling that property, we'll bring some of the other properties up to drill-ready status for 2013. We can see here, again, all of these are dots and lines are where we've taken soil samples. It takes about 10 minutes to fly from end to end of this property in a helicopter, so it's a big, big property. From all of this work that we've done here, we've got 4 separate gold targets that we've fleshed out. We're going to focus on this priority gold target right here for this year. This measures about 1.8 kilometers long. Here you've got gold, and then the green is the arsenic. So this is just a spectacular anomaly, and it's something that you would have seen in the beginning stages of the Kaminak and the Underworld discoveries up there as well. So over the last few years, we raised about $11 million. In 2010, we've done a lot of work in the area. We still have about $3.5 million of that left. But from all the work that we've done, we've actually discovered 60 new gold discoveries in the area, gold anomalies, 3 gold zones on the Rose Butte, 3 on the Sulphur, 2 on Bishop, 4 on Wounded Moose, Montana 3, and then on Quartz property, we have a gold anomaly there as well. And this Quartz property, if anyone has watched the TV show Gold Rush Alaska this year, they're actually, that's the same Quartz Creek where they're working on. They have the subsurface right, or sorry, the surface rights for placer mining, and we've got the subsurface rights. So it's, if you watch that show, it's a really good representation of the landscape on our property, and I've run into that crew up there a couple of times. And we'll be focusing in on drilling that sulfur project this year. So I'd like to quickly, before I run out of time, I'd like to go over our flagship project in British Columbia. This is a TAG gold project. We started working on this project in 2006. We've done a lot of work. It's just 6 kilometers north of the old Engineer gold mine. And it's right on the shores of Tagish Lake. Actually, it's funny, Skookum Jim and George Carmack, they started out leaving the shores of Tagish Lake to eventually go to the Klondike, and as did we. The fault structure, it's 6.2 kilometers long, and it runs right through the middle of our property. Here, you might not be able to see it, but it's a white quartz. Basically, when you walk up this creek bed for 1.2 kilometers, it's like walking into the adit of a mine. The mineralization comes right to surface here, and we've had numerous majors out to visit this property and take a look at it. It's pretty spectacular. Now we've drilled 69 holes on this property. We've discovered gold and silver in 67 out of 69 holes. We've flown an airborne survey, done all soil sampling, trenching. We built a fully winterized 20-man drill camp. And this year we'll be getting back to drilling on this project, hopefully in about September. So we've spent $4.2 million. It's a 6-kilometer fault. We've discovered mineralization through drilling and all of our programs covering about 5 kilometers of that. It's still open in all directions, and we did complete a resource calculation in 2009. It only covered about 28 of our 69 holes, and that came in at around 70,000 ounces of gold. And you know, if we were to do some infill drilling, we could bring those numbers up very rapidly. What we're going to focus on this year is a brand new discovery we made on the property in 2008, and it's a quartz diorite intrusion. We're getting up to 8 grams per ton gold on the margins of that intrusion. And we're proposing about $1 million program on that. We've had great success. You hit gold and silver on almost every single hole. We're averaging on all those 69 holes of about 20-meter widths of about 2.5 grams per ton gold. So moving ahead, we will continue to be focused on gold in the Yukon and British Columbia. A unique thing that we did, we partnered with the local prospectors. Mark Feketa was our geologist, was born and raised in the Yukon. The drillers, he went to kindergarten with the guys who own the drilling company, known the expediters for years, lawyers, everything. So we're strongly connected in the area. We're well financed. We've got a lot of Yukon experience. What we'd like to do is expand on our resource calculation and our gold resources, and we'd like to continue to generate new gold projects in BC and the Yukon on a go-forward basis.